got to do epic stuff. So this idea of the 4 pillars allows you to start accelerating progress, which is what we talked about last time in this series. However, when you want to do epic things in your life, do epic shit, as they say, you have to be able to have an epic life. What I mean that is every aspect of your life, the mind, the body, the spirit, and emotions, they encompass who you are and how epic of a being you are. If you have a crappy body pillar, but the other 3 pillars are amazing, they're not going to be that amazing because they're getting weighed down by that body pillar. And I think a lot of people lack that perspective. You could have 75% in all 3 other pillars, but if the first one is only 10%, 25%, you could not get past that threshold of 75%, 80%. You will not be able to become, I don't want to say master, but you won't be able to master yourself, if you will, in any of the pillars if one of them is dragging the rest down. You can think about it with each pillar having chains to the next one. Because we used the analogy of the Greek temple a couple episodes ago. Each pillar, no matter how strong you build it, is still chained to the next one, which is why if one pillar gets really strong, it's going to pull the other one up. Same thing on the other way around, it's going to pull the other one down. If one pillar is crap, it's going to pull the rest down. They're all connected. So there's multiple different chains going around. And this idea of that connection, I think, is very powerful because if you want to shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars, you need to have a proper foundation to launch off of. Your life, your epicness, is based on that temple. Your body's a temple, as they say once again. Each 4 pillar makes that temple stronger. If that temple is perfectly strong, then you can shoot a rocket out of it. But without that strength, the rocket will just crumble the temple, if that makes sense. You'll just fumble and fail. And these analogies, I know there are a lot of them, but I want to just really drive it home that even if you get to that point where you can launch the rocket, you may only have one shot. So don't miss your chance, kind of thing. Because it might cause you to strain your arm or break something or something like that. Or maybe you get head trauma and you can't think clearly anymore for a while until you can recover. I'm not saying like that's going to happen, but if you're doing epic stuff, you're more at risk of getting hurt and then thereby decreasing the capacity of your pillars or the quality of the pillars. So if you're pursuing your body pillar, pursue to be a bodybuilder. Like work on your strength, work on your size. Don't just limit yourself to one thing. I'm not saying everyone needs to be a bodybuilder, but I'm just saying have a goal, have something to work towards, be a master at it. If you're working towards the mind pillar, try to maybe go towards being a PhD researcher. I have always seen the PhD person as a hyper specialist, but in order to be a PhD person, someone who researches that to a deep level, you have to have a wide range and learn so many different things so you can have that transcontextual knowledge in order to actually progress in that hyper specialization. So it's kind of counterintuitive there, which is great. If you want to pursue your spiritual development, then you become a spiritual monk. Go live in the mountains for a couple of years and see what happens. See how different you are at the end. Don't just limit yourself to a simple meditation. Think out loud or internally. And then finally, if you're trying to pursue your emotions pillar, a lot of that kind of really goes into the social aspect. I know that some people have their own version of the 4 pillars and they add social as another pillar, either in replacement of emotions, because they kind of see the mind pillar as emotions, or they kind of merge emotions into social and mind. I don't see social as a great enough thing to become a pillar on its own. Maybe it's a micro pillar or something like that, and that could be a topic we could talk about one day, little micro pillars of life. But the idea of your social ability comes down to your emotional understanding of the next person and how you feel and how maybe you're an extrovert or introvert. That dramatically changes your emotions. If having a conversation with somebody drains you, then you're going to have a negative emotion to it. If the opposite is true, then you have a positive emotion from it. And so understanding that you could become a magnanimous person, that's actually something I want to be. I want to be the life of the party, even if I'm not actually partying. I want to be able to be that person where people see him and think, wow, that person's really interesting, really awesome, and they have such great inside jokes with strangers, that kind of thing, the world's most interesting man, if you will. And so even if you fail to achieve or attain that level, by reaching higher than you currently think is possible, you will land amongst what you didn't think you could achieve before. And so shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars, right? That's actually the philosophy behind my rep range. So I mentioned in the body pillar episode, the 3 variables of exercise, one of which is volume. How many reps or time elapsed are you doing? Well, reps has always been my catalyst to growth and strength. And the reason being is because of my proprietary system where you have 3, 20, 50, and 100. And those rep ranges where you're going all the way up towards that final goal of 100 reps, that you push yourself to new breaking points that you did not think were possible before. And by doing so many reps, you train the muscles to remember how they need to be so you have perfect form, at least most of the time. And I failed so many times at achieving the total rep. So when I mentioned that before, I didn't mention the fact that I kind of forgot that they were total rep numbers. They weren't reps per set. They weren't reps in a row. They were just total. 20 reps total, 50 reps total, 100 reps total for that workout. And by having that in mind, you can break it up to 1 set every 1 rep, or maybe 5 sets of 20, or 5 sets of 20, 4 sets of 25, etc. No matter how you break it up, it doesn't matter as long as you get to that goal. It might take you an hour to do 100 reps, but by the end of it, you're definitely going to get stronger. And that's how I built my strength. That mindset, though, of getting to 50, getting to 100, that is what accelerated my physical growth and my ability to do so many different reps so well. I was able to curl 100 pounds pretty, not easily, but pretty sustainably, because I did hundreds of reps of 90 pounds, 80 pounds, and more. The lower it went, the more reps I had done, and I built my way up to it. And that's another way you can do epic stuff, by pushing towards that epic level of reps, whether it is mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. That's it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it down below.